Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics and Non-Classic. This is episode 1050 and episode 944. Got two traits featuring women being awesome. First up it is Miss Marvel Epic Collection Volume 1, This Woman, This Warrior, which collects the first 14 issues of the original volume Miss Marvel with Carol Danvers. Marvel Team Up 6062 and Defenders 57. Now, this book had about at least about two different writers on it. You have Chris Claremont and Jerry Conway. Conway wrote the first few issues before Chris Claremont took over from pretty much the rest of the series. Artwork of this book is done by Jim Mooney, John and Sal Buscema, John Byrne, Keith Pollard, Carmine Infantino, George Tuska, and Dave Cochran. Now, I should point out something about Miss Marvel. You see, her costume had a few different changes. First off, her costume looked like this, with her belly exposed. Like, they even show like her back's exposed too. Yes, this was like this under Conway. Yes, when Conway was writing the title, this was pretty much the look of her costume. And look, here's the look of her back. Yeah, where her back was exposed. By the time Conway took over with Jerry, when Chris Claremont took over issue 9. They closed that up. Basically, it's a full costume. And she wore a costume like this up until, like, they had to change her costume. Now, if you look at this original costume, it kind of looks similar to that of our modern day costume. The design is very similar. I mean, with the star, and, I mean, her costume simply is, like, based on this, but, yeah, and she still has a scarf. Yep. In these issues, she fights, well, the Scorpion first couple issues. Excuse me, and she also fights. She also has encounter. She also Martina. She has the first meeting with Spider-Man. Yes, Spider-Man. Yep, and those are Chris Claremont in the issues. These issues came up before the two-parter featuring Spider-Man's team with Iron Fist. Yeah, thanks to Marvel team up, Spider-Man got a chance to have this first interaction with many of the Marvel superheroes. So if you're curious though, when did Spider-Man first meet Miss Marvel? Marvel Team Up 62. They threw in 61 in here because it's actually part one of a two-parter. Then to figure out why it's here, it just basically Carol's like guest appearance in there came out when her book was coming out, and yes, she got a chance to fight the Vision for an issue. Yep. This overall, and yeah, and one of these issues is the debut of this character, Deathbird of the Shi'ar. Yep. First of two X-Men characters to make a debut in this title. Yep, that of course be Mystique. Yep. Even though this book contains the first 14 issues, I'm a little surprised. For a 23 issue run, I'm like, damn, that's really... Yeah, for an epic collection, that's how thin it is. Yeah, it's really thin. This is only containing like 14, 16, about 17 issues. Not much. But it's a good way if you're interested in getting started with Carol Danvers' early years. This is a good place to start. We get this book roughly a 10 out of 10. It's really, really good. Claremont and Jerry Conway do a fantastic job with this book. Though Roy Thomas does not do anything with this book at all. He created Carol Danvers. He had nothing to do with her getting power. He did. I don't think he ever wanted to get powers, but he is the one basically who created the character. Next up is Ghostbusters Crossing Over. Yep, this contains the entire 8-issue limited series of Ghostbusters Crossing Over in the 2018 annual. Written by Eric Burnham. Artwork by Dan Schuing. Yep. This is a crossover of like a whole bunch of Ghostbusters properties. The main IDW, which also is the movies, by the way. And they also cross over with, and I kid you not about this, we also cross over with the real Ghostbusters, the one from the 2016 reboot, the Extreme Ghostbusters, and the Sanction of Slime. Yeah, these are the characters from the video game. Yeah. Though I would think though a series like this, because it crossed like a lot of the Ghostbusters franchise, this will probably come out this year due to being the 35th anniversary of the release of the original film. Nope. Nope, it has nothing to do with it. The trade was released this year, but not the crossover. Nope. The story is this, that somehow, because of because of the character Julie from the reboot universe, her name is Julie Hotzman, who hooks up with Ron Alexander. Yep. So, and of course, you have some mild follow-up stuff. What happened with the end of the last book they did, which I think was like Answer the Call. I think it was, which was a crossover I think it was like 101 was a cross between this Ghostbusters team and like the reboot one. hmm So these two accidentally unleash like almost all the ghosts contained in the containment unit. So, and this is spread across the multiverse, got a team a bunch of Ghostbusters, which is awesome. And we have the Extreme Ghostbusters. They have a team with them for the first time, and they have all these people meeting. And I think it was I don't remember the guy's name. He's basically the black person in the group. He's not Winston. It's I'm looking around here. Yeah, Ronald, who points out though that a older version of this blonde Egon trained us because they're younger and they basically talk about it. Of course, they also mentioned that have one of the characters who's in a wheelchair. Yeah, I have to basically list these people's names. You have Kylie, who also is in this book, by the way. Yes, she has her also kind of powers in here. So, Eduardo, Garrett, and that's it. Yep. Pretty good team in Ghostbusters. Heck, they even have the two Kylies on one team. And I even like it that Ronald basically interacts with the younger version of the Egon from the real Ghostbusters series. Yeah, and he refers to him as Dr. Spengler, which I'm sure he doesn't have a problem with that at all because, well, he is the title of doc. He has the title of doctor. Why not? And it's great that we have all these characters interacting with each other. Just a cap bunch of Ghostbusters. They even had Eduardo have played chess with the Grim Reaper, which I think is so hilarious. Now I'm thinking though, Eduardo, like as far as I know, I think this guy does have a version of it that exists in the regular Ghostbusters universe. Man, I know Kylie's there because she's popular, but I'm surprised that Eduardo's not in here. I'm a little surprised about that. We also have sort of the continuation development between Ray and his ghost girlfriend. Yep, she's in here as well. Yeah, she was a member of Ron Alexander's team, which apparently their job was destroying Ghostbusters, not capturing them, which caused a humongous disaster. He got arrested for it, but he was later pardoned. But yeah, and also apparently the Ghostbusters apparently weren't sharing technology, and of course there's also reference to many Ghostbusters stories here, like the second time they crossed over with the Teen Ninja Turtles, which was awesome, by the way. And like various Ghostbusters stories. Like the final villain they face off against is this giant creature who's kind of indirectly responsible for everything here. This kind of green Medusa woman. Yeah, it's kind of good they shaved her for last. And they have all the Ghostbusters beat her and take her to containment unit, keep her in this dimension with the trap containing her. Yep. Overall, this is a fantastic story. If you're a fan of the Ghostbusters, of any of the versions, you would love this because the writer, Eric Burnham, you can tell he's a big Ghostbusters fan. He loves this stuff. And I love this too. I kind of wish we got another Ghostbusters ongoing series. But who knows? But this, of course, is great. It's just too bad this was released last year. Yeah, it's the only kind of bad thing about this. Released last year with a trade. This trade came out just this year, but the issues came out last year. Yeah, for a limited series of Ghostbusters, this is actually by far the longest one they've done. Because usually it's about 4 to about 6 issues. This is 8 issues, plus an annual, which kind of starts off this event, which is great. So yeah. I'm a little surprised team with the Sanction of Slime, which these are characters from a video game that was not very popular with a lot of people. Yeah, I heard it was a really terrible video game, Sanction of Slime. Yeah, because apparently this game takes place like a year after the events of the 2016 film. Actually, a different game did that, but Sanction of Slime, yeah, I heard it was not that good a video game. I'm surprised they threw that in here as well. But I get why real Ghostbusters, because they've encountered them several times. The Extreme Ghostbusters, first encounter was great to see these guys. And I love the fact that the 2016 Ghostbusters actually have a role in the story. And of course, I love the fact that Julie gets a relationship with this guy here, Ron Alexander. Yep. We also have Dana Beaumont shows up in here. It's implied she might be dead, I'm not really sure, but this overall is just really, really good. Give this book a 10 out of 10. Really damn good story. I love it. Yep. I mean, great idea to release a trade this year, but I kind of wish a story like this would come out this year. Because there's not been like another um yeah, there's not been like another story like this since then because it seems like the Ghostbusters franchise has gone quiet right now for some reason. Just waiting for the next like new Ghostbusters book come out. But as far as I can tell me, they are crossover Ghostbusters franchise, crossover Turtles. I would love if they cross over with the Marvel comic universe. That would be interesting. Would it work? Probably. They take place in New York anyways. But they probably like another dimension like they do here with all the portal stuff. But I kind of wish that we would have like a crossover there, but no Marvel Comics won't allow it to happen because they refuse to do intercompany crossovers. Last one they did was back in 2007. Yes, 12 years ago when they did crossover with the Transformers and the New Avengers. That was the last special one they did. Ghostbusters is probably one of those series that people have wanted Marvel Comics for years to do a crossover with, the other, of course, being the Turtles. But Marvel just doesn't care. I mean, DC have got no problem with crossover. I mean, yeah, it would be interesting though if Batman teams with the Ghostbusters. That would be cool. I mean, yes, he's dealt with supernatural before, and plus he's a scientist. Even he basically wouldn't be surprised seeing all these ghosts, because after all, he has figure counters with the Spectre and Doctor Fate, so he's used to magical stuff. Yep. Overall, really good book. Yep. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. Stay tuned for uh, yeah. Stay tuned for my review of Barto. Yep, that will be next. Okay, but not right now. We'll be up soon. Okay, see you next to you. Bye.